Welcome to Agric Today on ARCN Television, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. Agric Today is a program where we bring to you the latest as it comes to agriculture. When I say the latest, I mean in innovations, equipment, technologies, and the rest of it. Even in policies, this is where you get to hear it firsthand. And this program is being aired on our YouTube page. Please don't forget to go to our YouTube page and then, like and follow us. Subscribe to the page so that you can get a heads on when we drop new programs. This week edition of Agric Today, we're going to be taking a look at the meeting between the ARCN and Farm Radio International. It's a courtesy call where a memorandum of understanding is being reached. The meeting had in attendance Professor Garba Hamidu Sharubutu and the country director of Farm Radio International, as well as top management staff of the ARCN TV and radio. The part of the meeting aim is so as to have quality content for farmers and as well make farmers understand the policies and ways that farming can be made easy and as well attractive to youth. Let's take a quick break. On return, we'll bring you details of the meeting. Stay tuned. Farm Radio International Country Director at the meeting explained why their reason for coming to ARCN TV and radio, having heard that this is the first agricultural TV here in Nigeria and as well West Africa. They felt this is a stop point for them as the activities here relates to what the Farm Radio International has as its mission and vision. Let's hear from him.
For us at Farm Radio International, we are in our small way been focusing on how to ensure that radio and new ICTs become relevant in extension. And from the work we've been doing so far, we've realized that we have been working on projects for a long time. So I'll just briefly share with you what Farm Radio is, what we've been doing across other countries and what we have done in Nigeria, and the way forward, what we are planning to do in all countries because of how we foresee the future. So Farm Radio started with a very beautiful story where George Atkins, the founder of Farm Radio, visited Africa and specifically Zambia. And in a bus ride to the field where he was training presenters from different countries, he started asking them questions as to what was your last broadcast about? This was in the 70s. And presenters were talking about presenting programs to farmers in the 70s about tractor, about spraying, and about other things that were not relevant to smallholder farmers. So based on this, when he went back, he started a very small organization in the kitchen with just a typewriter and the wife, where they started working on content for smallholder farmers. After 30 years, in all our research, when we go back to all the countries in Africa, the need for content for smallholder farmers is still a case. Wherever we go, the first thing I used to say is Farm Radio International. We are not a radio station. We don't have our own radio station. And also, we are not only using radio, but we use both radio and the mobile platform. Because we realize that in all the countries, there are so many radio stations. However, the people working at the radio station are people with very much passion and interest to work. However, when it comes to either how to do developmental radio program, they, one way or the other, may lack the skills, or how to ensure that they bring the right content to the listeners, that also becomes an issue. So as a result of that, we decided not to set up a radio station, but rather work in support of radio stations that are already in existence. Where we go, when we go to a country, one of our aims is to make sure every radio station has a farmers program. Why? Because there are radio stations currently in this country that do not do any program for farmers. But majority of their listeners are farmers. And how do we want the local economy to grow? Where the local economy depends on farmers. And farmers always need information. And from all our research, one of the main source of information for some of the farmers is radio. Because we all know the challenges with the extension delivery in our various countries. So based on this, Farm Radio International had developed, if we want to use the slide, we can go back. We work currently in 16 African countries. We work currently in 16 African countries. These countries are places where we have offices. However, when it comes to projects, Farm Radio International works in all the African countries. We currently have more than 40 countries that we support with our work. We work with more than 1,000 radio stations, and we have more than 56 active projects running in all these countries. And with the work we are doing combined, we are reaching a lot of radio stations. For a long time, we have tried to ensure that we project an aspect of radio that had been missing for a long time. Projects that are working using radio do not get the needed result that shows that radio works. When development partners finish supporting a project, they will end up telling them we don't have a real result. However, for the past 15 years, Farm Radio had gone deep into research to show that when radio is done and done well, you are able to produce the kind of results that is expected in every project. So at the end of our project, we are able to tell the story as to how many people were able to increase their knowledge, how many people were able to practice what we have shared, and how many people have been able to change their attitude as a result of the communication projects. So the green shows all the countries where we have an activity, and the orange is where we have project offices. We work in three main areas as an organization. Our work is in three main areas. The reason why we selected these three areas is that, one, we realize that there is the need for content and there is also the need for training. So we have decided that we will support an area we call the broadcaster resources. The broadcaster resources is an area, we can move to the next slide. The broadcaster resources is an area that we chose to work with because we believe that that is an area that will help us to continuously support radio station. In doing this, we work directly with radio stations on partnership basis. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do not have our own radio station, but we work with all radio stations on partnership basis, and we'll be very happy to partner with your station as we have started this discussion now. We also realize that when it comes to agriculture extension, we are not the reciprocity, we do not have the reciprocity of all the knowledge. So we work directly with other partners. And we are very happy to see that we are in the right place. For us to work in Nigeria, this is the place to be. Because this is where all the different research institutes and the extension wings or colleges are. So we are very happy to also partner with your organization because this is where our work will be able to come out properly. Lastly, we also identify that when we are working, we need knowledge, other knowledge partners who will come in the form of the government, development partners, other projects that are ongoing so that we will be able to work together. So Farm Radio, this is how we work. Next slide. So the three areas. The first is the radio resource. The second is the radio innovation. And the third is the radio projects. The radio resource, next slide, is an area where we provide training for individuals who have the knowledge to create content for radio stations. We train them to be able to create scripts that can be used by any radio station. And we support them also to put together the scripts in different topics. So our scripts, even though our name starts with farm, but our scripts and the work we do cut across. So we have scripts on gender, we have scripts on nutrition, health, we also do different livestock and the value chains. We also have scripts in those areas. We also work extensively in the area of climate change and even other areas that are outside the livelihood areas. Currently, we are just about to start a project in Nigeria that will be looking at unpaid care. Unpaid care is something that we have left, and a lot of us do not recognize that it is also something that is very important, especially as the men, whilst we are eagerly working, our wives or other people are at home taking care of our children. We do not recognize that they are playing a very important role in our lives. So unpaid care is a campaign that we are about to introduce to bring to everybody's mind the important role that people are playing in the life of the family.
The Executive Secretary on his own part thanked the Country Director of Farm Radio International while he pledged that there's going to be robust partnership between the ARCN TV and radio and the Farm Radio International. He used the time to emphasize on the fact that the ARCN TV and radio, of course, is an organization that is being birthed by the ARCN itself, but it's an independent organization that is based aimed at reaching out to farmers and ensuring that farmers get to know the researches and all information that they ought to know in helping them attaining a sustainable farming experience. Let's listen to him as well.
But I want to welcome you and request a very good listening ear. I believe that all of us have a responsibility to make sure that our mandates are achieved. All of us have a responsibility to perform. And we cannot perform or achieve if we don't pay attention and know where we are going to fit in our activities or fit in the activities of others within the concept of what we are doing. So I also want to welcome you. Permit me to also welcome an organization that is an independent but integral part of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. And I want you to underline, count, and chisel my words very well. It's an independent but integral part of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. Now I say independent because they are supposed to have the free hand to practice within their professional limit while serving the interests of the mandate of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. By so doing, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is supposed to handle their matters by way of management, not on a day-to-day basis. The Director of Livestock, Director Plant Resources, Director Extension, Legal, have the responsibility to meet the ES directly to discuss issues. In their own case, they have a management committee that will allow them to deliberate on matters and eventually present to the board of ARCN through the executive secretary. And that's the more reason why whatever we are doing with them, we always seek their permission. Yes, we are close. We go in there. They say this is the ES, they will respect the ES. But we are getting the place organized. I think maybe this is about the first time that we are beginning to understand the line or the administrative structure within the radio. Other issues will come up, but I think I'm saying that so that our partners will understand that this is the type of relationship they are going to form or have together with ARCN on one part, and then of course the radio, television on the other hand. Again, I also welcome you, but permit me to say this, that there is no better place to commend your activities other than now. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. Why do I have to say that? I have challenged people, times without number, that the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as it stands today, do not know how they drink water. The government do not know how they eat food. The government does not know how they dress very well to appear on television. The government does not know how they move from one place to the other seeking. Now, if the government does not know, myself and all the management here, nobody can tell us how they feed, how they eat, how they run their programs, how they look for fuel to move. And this should be very clear. And if people do that just based on interest, I think they deserve a round of applause while welcoming us. Thank you very much. We are saying that, sir, because Africa, as a country, will want dividends of democracy. But how to achieve that democracy doesn't bother anybody. It doesn't. We'll all be proud that we have an ARC and radio, television. Anywhere we go, we beat our chests. But nobody has ever slept and woke up to think, especially those in the bursary department. They have never come to me one day to ask, how do these people even feed? How do we pay them their salary? No, if the radio collapses today, I know that they will say, Joshua is a useless person. She's useless. This one is useless. They cannot run it. They cannot do that. And that is the more reason why I think in the wisdom of the staff of that consultancy unit, they decided that we should seek partnership. Partnership that have been able to establish themselves. Partnership that have been seen to be very progressive. Partnership that is compassionate. It's not every organization that you go and stretch your hand for friendship. You stretch your hand for friendship on organizations that have stood the test of time, organizations that have made it, organizations that have impacted reasonably. That is why you can see in the Shuaga that for the first time we are bringing a partnership that we believe in our very, very little way can make a lot of meaning to you. And that is why it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Farm Radio International, which we have found to be worthy ambassadors of themselves and worthy of partnering with an institution like this.
On his part, the Director of Livestock, Dr. Kida, says the meeting is coming at a better time, saying that with the collaboration between the Farm Radio International and ARSN TV Radio is going to help send research work and make farmers understand the things that they need to do as regards farming in Nigeria. The program coordinator of the ARSN TV Radio, Mr. Indeshuaga, on his part, thanked the Executive Secretary and the guests, the Farm Radio International Nigerian coordinator, for coming and for choosing to come to ARSN TV and radio. He says the MOU is a good one as it is coming at a time where content is being needed for the radio to kickstart. Let's listen to them as well.
We do research and we develop technologies, and these technologies we disseminate them to the farmers. So from all these your approaches, it's very critical to our work, because we have to find out from those people using our technologies, is it doing well? If not, what are the areas that we need to improve on those technologies? We'll also use that to find out their problems, because they have to give us what we want to work with. Because research now is not like before, where you just go and start doing what you feel like, or what you feel this is what the farmer likes. What we want to do now is to find out from the farmers what they like, what they need, then we'll work on it. And then, so these approaches are very, very critical. Yes, and I think it's very good for our partnership.
I think you are doing a very good work, good job, and that would help so much in reaching out to farmers and all those, even those who are not farming, those who need to till the ground and bring out something for food sustainability in Nigeria. So, and I want to promise you that with the support of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ES, we will be very, very happy to work with you, to collaborate with you. And I have found that there are opportunities for us in collaborating with you. particularly for radio. What we do now, right now, is television, and but soon the radio system will be effected. It is on ground, but not effective right now. So I think that what you're bringing in will help us in driving the radio system, and who would benefit from it. So I welcome you. Thank you so much.
In his closing remarks, the Director, Planning and Research, ARCN, Dr. Shuaib Madugu, also thanked the guests for coming to ARCN and says that the collaboration is hoped to bring a new facelift to the station.
Let me thank our visitors for coming. I know you had had a lot of other schedules, but you were able to create time to be with us today, and also for giving us this beautiful presentation, and for opportunity also you are given to the council to train our staff and also join some of your activities. Thank you very much. To the ARCN TV team, thank you very much for all the good works you've been doing. I will sincerely tell you certain things. There was a day I was somewhere off Abuja in Mina, and then we had an interaction with someone, and I told him I work with Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN. And he said, you work with ARCN? I said, you have a TV station? I said, yes, we do. He said, wow, one of my favorite TV stations, because we do a lot of programs and this and that. And in fact, that was actually a good one. And I was very happy, also proud of that, to say, yes, it is our TV station. So thank you very much for that effort. To my colleagues, thank you also for sparing your time, leaving your tables and coming to join us here and listening to us. Thank you, and thank you all.
That's how we wrap it up on the program. Don't forget, it's ARCN TV on YouTube. Try to subscribe and drop your feedback and contribution on each of our programs. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. Thanking you for joining us.